Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today it's that time of the year again. Premier League predictions are starting. We're going to be making weekly game week videos when the actual Premier League starts. But right now, recording this, it's like 2/3 weeks away. I thought I'd record it in advance, get it out early enough but not too late. So yeah, going to be my Premier League predictions start to finish. Who I think is going to win the title, who I think is going to get relegated, Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, and all that good stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, we have relegation. So obviously 3 teams get relegated every season. I think it's obvious who's going to come 20th. I'm saying Sheffield United. Maybe they might surprise me, but I think Sheffield United are going to get relegated again because that's just a tradition. They get promoted, then they get relegated. It always happens. And yeah, I think they're going to be one of the teams to get relegated. To be fair, from the teams that are in the Premier League this season, it's going to be very hard to decide who gets relegated, because they're all very good teams. Usually you'd say like, okay, I've got 2 ideas right now, but usually it'd be very like obvious who's going to get relegated. This time it's not as obvious. I was thinking Bournemouth, but I just feel like they'll stay up for some reason, because they did come like 15th last season, I'm pretty sure, from what I know. This one may be a bit, you're going to say it's biased because I'm a Liverpool fan and they are rivals, so I think you know where I'm going with this. But it's not even like that. It's more time. Last season they almost got relegated. The season before that they almost got relegated. And there's no way they stay up from almost getting relegated 3 seasons in a row. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm going to put Everton there. May seem very outrageous, but I'm going to do it because I can. And if I do go back and change it, I'll let you guys, of course you guys will see, but I may go back and change it. You never know, there's a slight chance. I think next up in relegation zone is going to be Bournemouth. It just has to be. I just feel like Bournemouth is the only other team that could get relegated here, because it's like they've got decent players, of course. Well, compared to the rest of the teams, it's not Premier League standard. They should be in the Championship by now. That may trigger a lot of people, but I just feel like they'll end up in the Championship, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Next, we're moving up 17th place. Who do I think is going to be 17th? These are very bold statements, by the way. I'm going to say 17th, Nottingham Forest. It may seem outrageous, but I just feel like they won't do that well again. Of course, these are like bottom league teams, bottom of the table teams, so should be 17th really ain't surprising for them. Next, I think we finally have to put Luton there, newly promoted team. I feel like they'll do quite well since it's their first season in the Prem. Of course, they won't do that well, but they're adapting to the Prem. First season in the Prem. I feel like with their glory story, being promoted all the way up to the Prem, I feel like it'll give them some motivation to get far. Of course, I feel like they'll stay. I don't think they'll get relegated, but there is a chance to get relegated. I saw a lot of people be like, oh, they're going to get relegated straight away. But I don't think that's the case. I think they're going to have a glory story once again, and Luton are going to become 16th place. I think next it'll be Burnley. Of course, they have Vincent Kompany now as their manager. They're doing well. They got promoted. Before they were in the Premier League for many seasons, then they eventually got relegated. But I think next it'll be Burnley to be 15th. I feel like there is a team missing here. I'm not sure what team's missing, but I feel like there's a team missing. They're missing Fulham. That's the team they're missing. I'll just put that in my own head of where I think they're going to go. I'm going to give 14th to Crystal Palace because, of course, Zaha did just leave. I know you're going to be like, oh, it's not all about Zaha. But I think Zaha left, it's going to be harder for them. He left for the Turkish League, which is surprising because he's going to Galatasaray, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, he's left. But my point is, I'm surprised he didn't go to like a different club. Like he left a Premier League club for the Turkish League. Fair enough, but I think that wasn't the best decision by him. But he has been at Crystal Palace for a while, so it's like, you know, he wants a change of club, change of scenery, all that. But yeah, my point is Zaha left, they're going to struggle because Zaha was one of their best players, if not their best player. And yeah, 14th for Crystal Palace. Now 11th to 13th. I'm going to say Wolves go here. I'm going to say Brentford. And since Fulham isn't here, I'm just going to edit Fulham on the screen, just like that. Fulham 13th, Wolves 12th, and Brentford 11th. That's how I say it. 8th, 9th, and 10th. Of course, we got to put Aston Villa there. They're in that category, kind of. I feel like Chelsea won't do that. But the thing is, Chelsea are going to be focused on doing well in the Premier League because clearly they have no other thing to do. They don't have European football, so they're going to be focused on the Premier League. So if they don't make it good in the Premier League, it's going to be bad for them, really bad. Which I wouldn't be surprised because it's Chelsea. They just buy players and they can't even use them, but they just buy them for, I don't know what for, the fun of it or something. But yeah, But they're getting Nkunku as well, which he is a baller. But I don't know if he can carry Chelsea. That's the question. I'll put West Ham. They are in the Conference League right now. But the thing is, it's like, I think Tottenham will bottle it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm gonna put Tottenham. That's disrespecting West Ham on a heavy. I have to put Tottenham because I just can't put West Ham there. And Brighton, they've been doing too well. But all these teams have been doing too well, so it's weird. There's one Conference League space, so I feel like Brighton won't do as well as anticipated. They are a good team, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they won't do as well as anticipated because they're going to be focused on the Europa League as they're actually in it this time. So I'm going to put West Ham there, Aston Villa here. This is a bold statement. Tottenham to come 8th is a violation. See, now what I'm on about, they came 8th last season. I'm waffling heavy. Okay, now we get into the big boys. Europa League. Why am I putting Chelsea so high? I'm sorry. I have to put Chelsea low. Just because they haven't been playing good to their standards. They've signed a lot of players, but they always do that. I think I disrespected West Ham. I'll put Chelsea in Conference League. And I'll put West Ham in Europa. That's what I'll do. Simple as that. Done now. I think Newcastle are going to have all that Champions League pressure, which they won't be focusing on the league as much. Of course they will. All teams focus on both. But the Champions League pressure is going to get to them. They're going to get knocked out. Not early, but not far. Then they're going to just forget about the Premier League as much. Because this is the first time in the Champions League for them in a while. They're not going to be as focused, and then they'll be off their game. I think they can be title contenders, Newcastle. I genuinely believe it. I promise you, I believe it. Bold statement. Don't slander me. Man United Europa League with West Ham. Okay. I'm going to get slandered on such a heavy here, but United to come 5th next Premier League season. It may be a big one, but it's happening. I'll be straight up and fully honest with you guys. Liverpool, okay, now it's Liverpool's time. You're probably thinking, why is this guy putting Liverpool so high up? I think we'll do well next season. I think this season was a one-off and we'll do well. I think that's Liverpool to come 4th. I'm not going to be biased and say we're going to win, but I think we'll come 4th and I think we'll do very well. There's a chance we'll win, but being realistic, I think we'll come 4th, secure Champions League. If not, we'll win the Europa League and secure it that way. Simple as that. Okay, I think you can kind of see who I think is going to win the league, but we'll talk about that more later. I'm just deciding Champions League now. Okay, so I feel like it's going to be like this. Liverpool to come 4th. Very bold statement. I know I just slandered Newcastle. I think they're title contenders. I think Man City and Newcastle are all going to be title contenders. And, of course, Arsenal. Let me get into that. But I think Man City and Newcastle, there's no other choice. They're going to be title contenders, of course. And you're probably laughing like Newcastle be title contenders. How well they did last season, and they didn't make as many signings. They've made a few more signings this season, and they may make a few more. But for them, I feel like they're going to do so well. Of course, they've got Champions League pressure as well, so it might get to them a bit. So they might slip off a bit. But I think it's either between Arsenal, Newcastle, or Man City. Simple as that. Of course, Liverpool have the signings of McAllister, Sloboslai, however you say his name. I'm getting used to it still, new Liverpool player. We're going to try and sign Lavia, of course. But I just feel like this is our season to get back Champions League. And next season after that, we can compete for the title. I hope Liverpool prove me wrong and win the title for us. I'll be gassed if we do. But being realistic, I don't see it happening this season. But I do see our form coming back. And we could be title contenders potentially. But more time, we're just trying to get Champions League and secure it this time. Arsenal to be Premier League champions. You're probably thinking, what am I thinking? That's what you're probably thinking. I'm going to call it now. Arsenal are going to win Premier League 2023 to 24. Simple as that. They're going to win the Premier League this season. What they showed last season was just phenomenal. The way they played, when they played against us, I was just like, yo, they deserve to win the title. They do. Of course, when they first played against us, let's not talk about the Diaz injury because I was fuming about that. Kind of did get a bit off hand. The ref was a bit on their side, but it's happened. We move on. I do like Arsenal a lot as a team, and I think they're going to win it this season. I think this is their chance. If they don't win it this season, I don't think they'll win it for a while. And you're going to be like, oh, they're going to bottle it, this and that. I don't think they will. I think they'll seal the pressure. Of course, Champions League pressure as well for them. First time in a while for them. So it's going to be a bit getting to them. But I think Arsenal do win the Premier League this season. Maybe a shocking prediction for you guys. You heard it here first on the Camid P YouTube channel. Arsenal to win the Premier League. Of course, they just made the signings of Declan Rice. I already spoke about that before. People got annoyed about my Uncle Ben's joke. What can I say? I don't think Declan Rice is how much he is. Of course, England tax, English tax, stuff like that. But Timber, they signed Timber, and Timber is a baller. So he will help them a lot, I'm pretty sure. And I know he will help them a lot. So, but yeah, Arsenal to be Premier League champions. I'm not happy with the bottom. I want to change it. Like, I just don't feel like it's right. I don't know why. Okay, I changed it. So let's go through it one more time, just for the video's sake. I made a tiny bit of changes. That's it. That's all I did. Relegation: Sheffield United, Everton, and Nottingham Forest. So Sheffield United come in 20th, Everton come in 19th. Bold statement, but I think that's how it's going to go. Nottingham Forest come in 18th, 17th Bournemouth, 16th Luton Town, 15th Crystal Palace, 14th Burnley, just back in the Premier League with Vincent Kompany, doing alright but not as well as anticipated. 13th Wolves, 12th Brentford, and Fulham 11th. Aston Villa 10th, Brighton 9th, and Tottenham 8th. That's a bit of a sticky one because Brighton and Aston Villa are now in like Conference League and Europa League, so it's a bit of a sticky one. But I just couldn't decide properly. But that's why I put that's my final verdict. Chelsea managed to scrape Conference League this season. Maybe have a comeback season. You never know. Maybe they'll fall off again. I don't know. But Europa League, well, yeah, Chelsea come in 7th. Europa League, Man United and West Ham 6th, Man United 5th, and Champions League football, Liverpool comeback season, Slobosly, Lavia if we sign him, McAllister, Liverpool get 4th, comeback season, just warming up until we win the league next season. Wait for that one, can't wait for that one. Have a tiny chance to win the league, but of now, I'm gonna be realistic. I'm a humble myself, but when it gets into the game weeks, and if we start winning like that, then I can start talking about winning the league. But for now, Liverpool 4th. Manchester City 3rd. Bold statement, but I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to fall off a bit. We saw them falling off a bit last season. They almost slipped the title. Of course, they ended up winning it. They won the treble. Don't want to talk about that. But I think they'll just come 3rd. I feel like they'll come 3rd. They might want to win another Champions League. Focus on that. They'll end up coming 3rd. Newcastle, well, they're still title contenders. Don't get me wrong. Man City are still title contenders. These top 3 are still title contenders. But this is how I'm just going to put it, just so it's made a decision and it's not as hard. Newcastle 2nd, also as title contenders. I feel like they'll do very well next season, but it's just debatable on like what happens, isn't it? But we'll see what's going to happen. To win the Premier League, champions of the Premier League, 2023 to 24, Arsenal Football Club. So many Arsenal fans that I know are going to be gassed about that one, that I'm actually backing them to win the title this time. I feel like it's Arsenal, Newcastle, Man City. We'll have to see. But as of now, I've predicted Arsenal. Hopefully Liverpool get up there, but you know, if this is right, I'll be happy. As long as City don't win another Premier League, I'll be so happy. So if these predictions are right, I'll be happy. But yeah, those are my Premier League predictions of how the season's going to go, how the table's going to look, who's going to get Europa League, Champions League, Conference League, who's going to win the league, who's going to get relegated, all of that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.